Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Thanks, Marco, and everyone for vlogging. I mean, this is amazing to be having this speaking in the toilets. I'm extremely happy to be having this talk in Winnipeg, as I believe Winnipeg is a very important place for the invention and enforcement of gender. Maybe even the birthplace of the body as we know it. But let me explain why I think the Institute of Contemporary Art is the place to be having this conversation. They gave me only 10 minutes. So I will have to cover as many ideas, and I told them, that's it, that's what I'm talking about. Representation is rare. Honestly, what is to be made visible? Whose bodies, whose images, whose ideas? I think we have a major representational problem. There are around 37 million people living in what has been territorialized to be Canada, whereas the entity that is meant to legislate this chunk of the planet is only hosts 443 seats. Which I see as having a 37 megapixel picture downscaled to 443 megapixels, which is very low resolution and such a lot of data, right? And we inhabit these very low resolution models, time, language, nation state, but we also embody them. One of the lowest resolutions, actually binary models, some people still operate within is gender. And now you think, oh my god, this is another talk about gender, about pronouns, about how sex and gender are different things. Well, no, unfortunately. This is a talk around David Reimer, who lived and died in Winnipeg, and how the idea that there are only two genders is an strategic fiction. This is a historical moment, an epistemic crisis, just as when we used to think that the Earth was flat, because the maps, the representational models we were using were wrong. And you don't want to be those guys who make history thinking there are two genders, or Earth is flat, right? You all know that there's way more chromosomic combinations than XX or XY. I will not even go into that. This time, science knows perfectly what's going on, but it wants to secure future populations, or generations, of younger, stronger, faster, free labor. So that's why we keep believing counterfactual cartographies, images, and drugs that shape our perception. So tonight, I'm asking you to follow me in thinking outside how we have been unconsciously subjectified. Sorry if I sound like I think we are idiots. I don't. But let me explain that we are the byproduct of a historical elimination of bodies and knowledge for the production of certain lives. David Reimer, and I'm going to use a male pronoun not because I believe in sexual difference, but because that's what he identified as, was born Bruce Reimer in 1965. I will not spend the whole story because it's in the studio, you can read it, there's a bunch of documentation. But he lost his penis when he was 9 months. His parents brought him to John Money, who was working with so-called intersex bodies. We will have to see what is exactly to be intersex, or to be anything sex. If anyone is familiar with Dr. Money, you will know it was another feminist who invented this idea of gender, which had nothing to do with it. It was a child psychiatrist at Kinsey Institute in 1947, so it's been a while already. So Money, what a name to be the inventor of gender. Even if David was not, at the moment, who was Bruce at the moment, was not medically intersex, said, you know what, your child is young enough, gender is learned, and he has lost what we consider to be what constitutes a masculine body. So we will make him into a girl, and she will become Brenda, and she will be totally fine. That's Brenda. And it was not fine, obviously. He had a very tragic life, committing suicide. And that's why conservatives and sex essentialists have taken him as an example to go against the possibility of change, of sex change and gender as socially constructed. But what they don't say is that it was precisely when science discovered the anatomy, that anatomy was way more diverse than two categories that they had to invent them. Gender was invented to discipline what modern medicine saw as ambiguous, non-productive bodies. I would love to say androgynous people, but for the most part we have been excluded from humanity, as you can see in these toilets. But the problem with not conforming bodies, or whatever you want to call us, is not that we don't fit in, it's that we don't reproduce the conditions and spaces and devices in which all of this is meant to be produced and reproduced. We are anarchic units in an engineered, cybernetic state of read/production. We are the cancer of productive capitalism. That's what David needed in us. So maybe Winnipeg is the place to be to stop talking about gender as a performance, a roleplay, the software of the body, and realize it is actually a material construction that cannot exist without the read/production of a certain hour. this technology will appear along with the birth of the clinic and the creation of the gendered, healthy, productive / reproductive, nationally branded body, and therefore also the invention of the pathological, abnormal, disabled, dysfunctional, alien, unproductive body. So if there is some theater going on here, it is a scientific claim that when facing the multiplicity of body diversity, starts to normalize newborns into cultural ideas of masculinity and femininity. Let me tell you about this protocol for a second, because maybe all of you are so sure of your genders. I mean, I'm not, but I guess none of you had your chromosomes test when you were born. We underwent an aesthetic, this is the protocol, exam, certifying whether or not our genitals match the one desired by the state. What I'm saying is that any of us could have been born intersex or whatever and not know it. Because still today, intersex babies cannot exit a hospital without being assigned and converted into something that I'm telling you is strategically designed. Side note, you can freely get a surgery anywhere in your body if you can pay for it, except for genitalia, for which you have to declare yourself mentally ill in order to modify it. So what exactly is going on with this particular part of the body? Is it the property of the state? Is this why we need its permission? Or maybe what happens is that it is a device fabricated to fabricate the national body. Otherwise, why is reproduction subject to such social control? Well, let me tell you, civilizations need a certain amount of living population to keep the body going. That's why we have imagined reproduction to be the logic of life, and declared to be the biological body, and decided the biological body is the docile one that produces without hesitating. You know, not only pathologizing, but historically criminalizing, stigmatizing and persecuting abortion, as well as any non-reproductive form of sexuality, masturbation, not too long ago, anal sex, oral sex, or some part of homosexuality. Again, I mean, I don't believe in sexual difference. Again, limiting the imaginary of what is legal to what is reproductive, therefore creating the insane sick to be curated and eradicated. Literally, we have never had our own toilets, but we have been included in medical books as diseases. That has been a representation. I really don't know how we are not burning down hospitals and research centers, to be honest. So this non-political, super-objective science that has equated health, sexuality, and reproduction to maintain a regime of fertile slavery also denies any non-reproductive sexual organs. This means the history and cartography of sexuality doesn't yet include the hand, the mouth, the anus, or the brain. This is very sad. We are basically supposed to be fucking and breathing each other for no reason other than our genitalia. We are not even supposed to look each other in the eyes. And at this point, I don't know if this is animal behavior or self-replicating robots. But I guess this is the tension in which we still claim our humanity. I wish I had more time to explain, to show you how we mechanize our bodies and invented the cosmopolitan, straight Disneyland subject, which David, of course, couldn't be. But I would like you to have in mind that this violence we instigated onto all of us, we also instigated onto the planet, other species, and our own consciousness, basically, in hope of control. So in the same way that we divided time so we could own it, we divided the land, but also each other's bodies, literally opening the body of our victims, slicing them into organs, inventing a function for every organ, making them look rigid and simple instead of soft and slimy and confusing, literally becoming living fleshlights and builders to be coupled. Mere computational ones and zeros. The ones who own penises, cars, houses, wives, kids, credit cards, countries, passports. And the ones who don't even own their undocumented, unrepresented, invisible holes, always too busy producing and reproducing the very devices that sustain white masculine technological supremacy and erase everything else. I really wish I had the time to explain all of these technologies, how they were developed and everything. All these technologies to produce these subjectivities. Personally, I started researching whether video games would turn me violent or not, and ended up reading about the invention of the pill, so you can imagine. Which is another terrifying story, by the way, we should talk about another day. But trust me, and I think David Kramer is a great example, that we are already a technically constructed entity made of flesh, surgeries, hormones, information, energy, and capital. So this revolution that I'm teaching today is not that we can become cyborgs, it's that we already are. The worker, the black, the crazy, the indigenous, the transgender, the homosexual, the disabled, the feminine subjects are the invention of white power. We have been historically incarcerated in asylums, but now we are the first generations being taught to read and write and speak. And we are realizing the nonsense of identity politics. For the first time have access to the tools that produce subjectivity. We have to use them. It's time to get real. It's time to be sovereign. And I think David will teach us a lesson on rejecting his false feminine identity, Brenda, as he will not go back to being Bruce, but adopt a new name, David, taking full control of his subjectivity. So what I would like you tonight is not to get an appointment to get your chromosomes test on Monday, but totally invent the gender you want to be, and try to invent a gender that doesn't oppress you. You will not be any less artificial than you already are. I mean, how natural is estrogen that half the population of so-called cisgender women have to take it from laboratories? So maybe instead of alternative citizenship, alternative education, or alternative homes in Mars, the internet, or the ocean, what we need to realize is that the body is our home, or ultimate nature. Since we cannot agree on self-determinating together, maybe we can all become our own somatic republic, writing our own codes, laws, and disciplines. Maybe the future of the state is a different state of mind and a new body. Maybe the subject is not dead, maybe it's just on sleep mode. Maybe the body is also to be revitalized, even gentrified, because there's so much more we can do with it than just producing and reproducing, right? And as squid bodies became the color of the season and the BlackBerry everybody wants to own, maybe we can make them into living memes everyone wants to download. Maybe it's time to stop fighting for gender fluidity and equality and abolish gender. Maybe you to you has to mean something else than targeted advertising and created Spotify playlist. So I'm inviting you to join me in going from the customizable sneaker to the custom revolution, to separate who we are from being human, which after all is so exhausting and so last season. At this point, only God is modern technology. A so-called nature turned out to be a catfish, a trap, a white-dating trap. I'm inviting you to open the second touch of a hero system and create together a new body without borders and with infinite organs and identities. Maybe this. Maybe this. It doesn't show up, okay? And this revolution I'm pitching you today has already started. This is Rogozov doing his own surgery in 1961. Let's see. I mean, tell me if this is not a cyborg. So yeah. For some of us, it's going to be a while, I think. And this is already happening. We've been experimenting with hormones since the 70s, and we're already producing testosterone and estrogen in our kitchens. This revolution is so much do it yourself that we don't need the masses to follow. So forget about one size fits all and seen on TV revolutions. They take too much paperwork. Just as Amazon, your body already knows what you want before you do. So you don't even have to hold a referendum. Just open the toolbox of gender which I brought to you, with it, and let your desires take control. I don't know, I also made some protest signs. We're already in the toilets if anyone wants to have sex. And we can just take the streets as well. You know, feel free. One thing before we go into this, let me tell you one thing. Maybe what this will be erased is all these lines that cover the earth and our bodies. Maybe it is the planet that shouldn't be wearing makeup.